What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Monday night, Nerds and Suits Live. I was scrambling to get ready for this. I've got this plate of food here that I didn't finish eating, so that's going to go over here now. Let's try to not get food on my wires there. Yep, all right. Didn't get it all dirty. All right, guys. Monday night. Happy to see you all, or at least the eye of the camera. Some good folks in the chat here. I see Quatermass, Alex in here. I got Ryan. I got John Lestrina. I got Jack. Looks like Daniel Medina's in here. Kyle, JD. I got Cash in here. It's a good group. Look at this. Cutter Hale, first man in. Look, guys, I understand that you want to start things off by embarrassing me for not having watched Tokyo Drift yet, but you made it into a bit. It was you guys that made it into a joke. Now I can't watch it, right? That's how this works. Now if I watch it, I've somehow lost or something. I don't know. So my dad's here. There's my father. He's saying hello. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Pops? He's recovering from some health stuff. Had a crazy skin infection, and then it turned into his blood, and now he's doing well. He's recovering, but it's a freaky couple weeks there. I've been checking in with him every day or so, every couple days. So thanks for tuning in and saying hello, Pops. Good crew here so far. Camshaft, the new computer has not shipped yet. It'll ship sometime here at the end of June, that's kind of the way they announced it. Not the end of June, the end of May. Basically, they ship towards the end of May. So I should be getting a notification here any day that my 24-inch MacBook is going to be shipping, which I'm super excited about. I mean, it's like a really sweet computer, and hopefully I should be able to do a lot of really cool things with it. I have a lot of cool ideas. Feeling very energized, optimistic, feeling really good today. I think it's going to be a good show. Should make for a very good week. I'm sure some of you guys have questions on my health and all the other things that are going on. Tanya, who is one of our patrons and longtime supporter, had sent me a message asking about the release of Late Night Love Song, because I think a few weeks ago when I was cracked out on painkillers, when my back really just started to completely lose it, I think maybe I talked about that date on a show. And then because of the painkillers, probably I didn't track that I had talked about that date. It wasn't even my radar that was the date that I was shooting for. So if that is the case, I am delayed a few more weeks on that, but not too many more weeks. I'm feeling like we're moving in a good direction. The Talking to David kind of got a good game plan going. The song sounds really good, the version of it that I have. So definitely a lot of cool stuff going on there. There's a ton of shit that I want to talk about on tonight's show, guys. Coming up, we're going to be talking a little bit about that Deception versus Danger Zone match. That was a huge one. What that sets up now with Danger Zone versus Rushmore. I also am going to be confirmed playing against John Rocha in singles on the 4th of June. So I get John Rocha 2 times. Utah get me 2 in just a matter of weeks, which is crazy if you think about it. I have not played a match against John Rocha in the Schmodown, like an actual sanctioned teams or singles match, since probably 2018, I guess. I lost to Rocha in the summer of 2018. And I think prior to that, I hadn't played him since top 10 the second time, which was at the end of 2017. So it's been a long, long time. I've only, I think, just lined up against him on tables at the free-for-all, and I think that's kind of it. So this will be a big one. I think this will be a big one. This will definitely require a lot out of me. And yeah, I mean, I'm really excited to go head to head against the Outlaw. He's one of the legends of the game for a reason. And we both changed a lot as players since those old days. So yeah, the Jose says, I wish we could talk about the Tom Cruise exhibition match. I think you're more than welcome to, man. That's a public exhibition match. Anybody who wants to talk about the Top Gun match, that was sweet. I know, Chris. This one, it sticks in my craw too. I've lost on my fair share of 5s, unfortunately. It's just what happens, you know. That's the nature of the game. That's how it works. So anyway, we're gonna be talking a bit about the Deception match, which, you know, a lot of people have said a lot of nice things about. It was a crazy one of the most competitive, most intense matches I've played in my Schmodown career, and definitely one that I look forward to. You know, looking back on, you remember your losses usually more than your wins, because for whatever reason they stick with you in a different way. But doesn't matter. Big year going on ahead. As I mentioned the other day on Action, I've played once in singles this year, played in the free for all, and now have played in 2 teams matches. And I am 3-0 in sanctioned, and then I got those points for the dungeon with the free for all. So that was great. And I intend to continue rolling through with that momentum and continuing to win. So if you guys are fans of what I'm doing in the Schmodown, it's been a good start for us. And those of you that show up on Wednesdays every single week in the study sessions, those are available to Diamond patrons to actually be a part of, and then you can just hang out with us and be in there to witness them at the platinum level of patreon.com/nerdsandsuits. That work we've been doing in there has been invaluable. I mean, it's incredibly, incredibly helpful. And I really think that my game and truly the game of my teammate right now, Dan Merle, I think has really genuinely improved. I think we're both playing at a higher level than we maybe ever have before. And I think we owe a lot to you guys. We owe a lot of credit to you guys for that. So, all right. So let's see a few things here. We got Ryan Ramberg here, one of the newer recruits to the NIS community last few months, but a phenomenal contributor here. Great matches, Ben. Love the Top Gun exhibition. You and Riley have great chemistry. I mean, Riley's one of my dear friends. That was such a fun thing, getting to play against Riley and not take it as seriously and have some laughs. And it was great. It was great. And also, Mark's a great player, and I think he doesn't get nearly enough credit. So getting to see him not just win, but win convincingly on a great pull at the end there was really, really cool. He and I were talking a little bit after the fact. So yeah, I felt very, very fortunate to be in there, be a part of that one, get asked to do that. And it was great to see. Jose Montalvo here. I basically just wanted to say how much fun you had in the exhibition match. You smiled so much. Yeah, look, it was really fun. And if it's not evident by now, to those of you watching, how much I love the Schmodown, it's a huge part of my life. It's something that brings me a great deal of joy. But when you're competing and you're judged by your wins and losses, sometimes it's hard to smile. You're locked in. You want to play this. You want to hit the character notes. And especially this year, I'm trying to be just truly the biggest walking bag of dicks on earth. That's my goal. It's my plan. And so people don't want to. They don't want me to laugh unless it's an evil laugh, which I do a lot of. So thank you for that. I have a couple more donations over here on the Streamlabs side of things that I want to give a quick shout out to. So over here, we've got one coming in from JD Domash. Big salute to you, JD. Great Schmodown. Oh, wait, we don't do the salute here. I get mixed up. We do the hair tussle here. Hair tussle to you, JD. Great Schmodown matches. Congrats on the win against Deception and a well-fought match in the Top Gun exhibition. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I was just reading over in our weekly updates and check-ins your updates for the movies you've watched, as you're still doing one movie a day, which I think is an awesome goal and some great stuff on there. Cutter Hale, my guy, hair tussle you, Cutter. Just wanted to say hey, and that I'm super jealous you were seeing Quiet Place 2 tonight. I'm seeing it a week from Thursday. I'm super pumped. Another YouTuber I watch is seeing F9 tonight. Those Who Wish Me Dead was amazing. Hope you are doing well, brother. Thank you, Cutter. I am going to talk a little bit about getting to go see I'm going to my parents are in here distracting me. I'm going to get to talk a little bit about getting to go see Quiet Place 2 here once the stream is over, which I'm really excited about. I have not been to a studio invitation screening to go see a movie before release in the last one, I've mentioned it many, many times, was the screening of Bloodshot that I saw the day before the pandemic was confirmed. So that was in March of last year. So this will be exciting getting to go and do the damn thing. My dad here saying my mother, who's in Brooklyn visiting my sister, is watching, and also my dad is watching from Seattle. So look at this. Got the whole crew. We got the whole family crew hanging out, part of the stream tonight. There's so many things I want to cover. So where do we begin, guys? Oh, look at this. And my buddy, all my friends and family are all here. You've all coming in from San Francisco. I mean, come on now. Yuval has been texting me. He discovered after watching Terminator, he discovered the old show Drew and I used to do, Action Movie Anatomy, because they're all on YouTube. The show has like 60 million views all time or something like that now, over 250 episodes. They just live on, and they're from a long time ago. So,
Okay, so from my mom here. I bet it's your sister Chloe. Can I get a hair tussle? You got to sign up for Patreon, sis, if you want to get a hair. Now I'll give you a free hair tussle, Chloe, because you're my sister. No, so you've always been watching old episodes of AMA, and he texts me all the time, like old jokes and bits from the show. But these are from episodes that we recorded in like 2015 and 16, a lot of them. It's funny, it's a blast from the past, but it's also a good reminder of how much fun Andrew and I had when we started out doing that show, how important that show was for both of us to really become professional broadcasters, to be on air all the time and prep an outline and prep a run of show and show up and really try to elevate the content as best we could. It was such a fun time back then. So it's fun to have you've all going back and watching the old episodes because they're good. I mean, they're legitimately good reviews of these movies, and they're great movies. A lot of them, especially the old episodes when we were really focusing on iconic stuff. There's just a lot. There's a lot to say. So this is a fun group tonight. Fun crew. There's a lot of stuff that we want to go over. So Danger Zone Deception. I did talk about it quite a bit on Action Guys last night, and I know I'll end up talking about it a bit tomorrow on Backstage. But this is probably the best forum to do a little bit more of a just question and answer. So if anybody here has a more specific, sort of longer question that you want to make sure gets answered, throw it into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/nerds and suits. That's definitely the best way. I'll try to answer those. The Nerds and Suits one-on-ones are coming back in June, and I'm ready to announce them tonight. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that coming up here in just a minute. We've got that coming up. We've got the fact that I'm starting to feel pretty optimistic about the health of my back, not because I'm necessarily feeling that much better, but I'm not feeling worse, and I'm feeling like I can kind of see a pathway. So it's making me feel like August, the tour, the CDC guidelines, that's all coming into play. I'm going to be able to set that thing up, announce the dates when I wanted to announce them. I think the only difference probably is that the album itself will maybe just be a little bit more delayed than I was thinking. The massive distraction of this last month, the other MRI, it has been difficult to deal with, and just kind of now settling into a groove where I feel like I'm going to be able to do this thing. But it definitely kind of shaved a month off there, where we were really working with some nice momentum after that show. But it's all good. We should be back with it. So I want to talk about that. I definitely want to talk a little bit about Quiet Place. So yeah, there is a ton of stuff to cover. I did want to give a quick shout out today because, as many of you know, I kind of have made a commitment to any patron, anybody who's a patron of Nerds and Suits, and that's at any level. The level we start with a $5 level on the Patreon, but if you even just want to donate $1 a month, I will still check on you if that's what you want. If you have a goal you're working on, if there's something you're working through, that's what I do here on the channel. And that's probably the biggest thing, the biggest part of the engagement on the Patreon. So last week, I got about halfway through the messages and I meant to go in, but there was a lot of really personal ones. There was a lot of messages you guys were sending that were lengthy and they were asking about my life or they were sharing about yours. And sometimes if I haven't heard from you and I want to check on you, I can send a quicker message. But if there's a real message that's talking about real life stuff, I can't go in there and just rattle off a quick 1 minute response. I need to take my time to think about it because I care about you guys. And if you're asking me a real question or a piece of advice, I'm not going to just give you some bullshit. So, and there's a lot of you. So I was going through today and I was responding to as many as I could get to. I was able to clear all of the ones, at least that I'm aware right now, that you guys do want to be getting those check-ins. A lot of you have set really great goals for yourself. And these are every goal from drinking less soda to walking more, drinking more water, stretching, writing goals, creative goals, so many cool things. We're going to talk a bit more about that when we get into the one-on-ones here in a second. But as I was going through, I did get a message from somebody whose name I guess I probably shouldn't reveal necessarily on air, but I can reveal the message, the message itself that I got, because it was really cool one. I thought, how do you guys know when I played my show on the 10th of April, I debuted one or two songs that people hadn't really heard as much of. One of which was a song that at the time was being titled Pieces of Us That Went Wrong, which I didn't really have a bridge for, but I had a good first verse and chorus and a good second verse and chorus. And I did play all that. And I liked the way that it came together in the show pretty well. And I got this message, which I'm trying to just find here so I can read it. But essentially, the message said, thank you for posting, because the show is available right now on the YouTube. It's an unlisted link on YouTube that's available for all patrons, about 45 minutes.
and it's got decent audio. It sounds pretty good. So, but this patron sent me a message saying that they have listened to the show a few times, and whenever they get to the song "Pieces of Us That Went Wrong," they listen to it twice, and they really enjoy that particular song. And it's a great reminder for me as an artist, and as a creator, that when you do, I mean, I like that song a lot, and I'm really excited about that song. It's going to be, I think that song probably will make the album. The more I think about it, I really have liked the way it's sounding. Um, but it's also a song that only was really getting written in the days before the show. And then with everything with my health kind of going downhill, I haven't got to focus on it very much. And I hadn't really gotten to get the kind of feedback that I think I was hoping I was going to get right when the show ended. So hearing that somebody who on their own of their own accord has listened to the show, really enjoyed that particular song. It's great. It's a very encouraging reminder that, you know, people respond differently to your art. Some people like one piece. My mom's an artist. She's in here. She knows this. People like different paintings of hers. You know, some people have an opinion about one, some about another. And it's wonderful when you are an artist and you create and you get that kind of feedback to hear it about one you've never heard before. It reminds you that you found value in what you were doing. Obviously, otherwise you wouldn't have done it. You wouldn't have created the art if you didn't find value, but you find that value. And that's what pushes you to finish it. And it's weird when artists will talk about validation, that like they don't need the validation of an audience. Not because I think that that's not true. I think there's some artists that are just so invested in their art that the process of creating it is all they care about. But I think a lot of artists, myself included, I like to have that energy reflected back. You know, I'm a performer as much as I'm an artist, so it's really nice to hear if somebody responds to a particular piece, which is exciting, and also was probably one of the reasons that finally getting to share Sorry for Tonight with so many of you guys was such a cool feeling, because so many of you were so complimentary and so encouraging about it. So let's talk a little bit about the one-on-ones here for a minute, because I did mention them. So last December, I set up this idea that any Nerds in Suits patron, and I think the idea was that these one-on-one sessions would be available to the Diamond tier. So it's the $25 a month crew, patreon.com/nerds in suits. I would set up a 15-minute one-on-one session with you, and we could go over any professional endeavor, any personal obstacle that you wanted. At 15 minutes, just like a one-on-one hangout. You bring in what you want to talk about, and I would do my best in that time to kind of reflect some of those ideas back at you, be a sounding board, be as helpful as I could. I got to know a lot of you a lot better. And of course, at the higher tiers, there are a few patrons who are at the $50 tier, or there is a couple people at the $100 tier. At those 50 and 100, I made 30 minutes available. And the value of doing these is not only that I get to know you guys a bit better, but also that when I am doing these weekly check-ins via message on Patreon, I have a greater frame of reference of what it is that a lot of you guys are going through and working on. So we're bringing them back. Instead of waiting a full year, I was thinking of doing it in December. I'm going to be bringing them back in June. And at the end of the show tonight, I'm going to send out a message to all patrons at the Diamond tier and above with the spreadsheet that I created myself. So you probably can expect there to be at least one technical error, but hopefully it works. And I will be sending it out to all of you tonight to sign up. So I'm spacing it out a little bit more this time than last time. Last time I did it over the course of about 2 weeks. It was larger blocks. I'm currently planning on Tuesday evenings between 6 and 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. I'm doing 5 Tuesdays in June. So the way it's set up right now, there are going to be 15-minute slots available and 5 slots at the higher 30 minutes available. Now, if those all get filled up and we run out of space and I get messages from you guys that you wanted to sign up but you weren't able to, I'll probably open up a handful more slots. But for right now, that's what's being made available. So if you are interested in signing up to do the one-on-one thing, which some of you, if you did it last time, you're welcome to do it again. I will be sending a direct message to all patrons tonight. And so if you've thought about signing up, about upgrading to one of those tiers, but you weren't sure about it, that's a great way. It's a great reason to do it. And I look forward to getting to do that again with you guys. It'll be in June. So obviously, if you want to sign up on the 1st of June, and there are still available slots for June 2nd is the first day. Awesome. If you want to sign up early, you can guarantee yourself a spot for next month. If you have any questions, concerns, send me a message. I've said this many times to you guys before. I'm more interested in getting to know you and interacting than I am about the exact dollar amount. So if you're somebody who really would like to be a part of this, but you don't feel like you can afford it, and you're a patron, send me a message and maybe we can work something out. I'd way rather have that happen than feel like you can't be a part of it because you can't afford it, or it's not even can't afford it. It's just you don't think it's reasonable right now or something. So send me a message. On that note, those $15 and $25 patrons are going to see some fireworks on Wednesday. Egglord closer Nikki here in the chat, hanging out. She pulled the short straw, so to speak, in our session last week. Every week from 6:15 to 7:30 on Wednesdays, I hang out with you guys and we do a study session. We get to go over a bunch of questions, Schmodown related, and every fourth week I do a 5-round head-to-head proper match. Now I was doing real well. I unfortunately did get one loss, and now I'm trying to follow that loss back up with a win here as I go against Nikki on Wednesday. But if you are interested in being a part of that, get excited. That's going to be on Wednesday at 6:15 Pacific Standard Time. I'm very much looking forward to it. Nikki obviously has been around the block, so I think she knows what she's doing. Ben manufactured an excuse for when he loses already. No shenanigans here. No shenanigans here. Just going to scramble him badly. I like what you did there with scramble eggs, Egg Lord. So yes, get excited for that. If you're not already a patron, good reason to sign up. We got another super chat here from Jose Montalvo. I've really enjoyed watching the study sessions. I'm looking forward to witnessing Egg Lord's skill set. Yeah, I mean, she was a question writer, so I think she's got some good things to say, good things going on. We'll see. We'll see what she can do. We got a couple more Streamlabs here that I want to shout out. Trevor Fast coming in from Canada. Big salute to you, Trevor. I keep doing the salute, guys. Got to do the hair tussle. You rock, Ben. Thanks for being awesome. Trevor, thank you for being awesome. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Let's see here. The Kyle here, the K Wolf here with the Streamlab donation. I'm so excited to watch you beat the old law twice. Just don't rough him too bad. We got to leave something for the GOAT to play with. Hashtag Team Bateman for life. Hey man, I'm just gonna go out there and give it my best. I think as much as I want to beat Rocha and as much as I believe wholeheartedly I'm going to, we also know that it's anybody on any day, and there is a very real possibility, unfortunately, that your old pal Bateman's going to lose twice. There's also a very real possibility I'll split it or I'll win twice, but we have to be prepared for the fact that just because I think at this point I am the better player, I mean I believe that the better player doesn't always necessarily win. So I'm never going to take a player lightly, especially somebody with the resume of John Rocha. The man has built the Schmodown. He's one of the founding fathers, as we all remember. That being said, I'm going to go in there and give it everything I have. I think I may have missed one super chat here. Call us on Caddyshack over in the Action Army. What the hell? We're just giving away free hair tussles now? Yeah, well, look, man. My sister, she's demanding, she really wanted the hair tussle. So, we're doing what we can do. So let's see what else is going on here. If anybody has any specific questions as far as the Deception Danger Zone match, I'm more than happy to answer them. I think probably if I'm just going to call on memory anything that I haven't particularly talked about yet, or anything that I really want to add, my biggest stuff about that match was just that I think at this point you have to just acknowledge that the stronger team on Corruption is Deception. I think they're a better team than Corruption. Which I know is confusing because Corruption is both the name of the team and the name of the faction. But look, if we're not taking Marisol McKee seriously yet, I think we're overlooking something. Adam Collins is a very good player, incredibly good player. But the fact that he's got somebody who's so willing to put in the work, who continues to show up and in round one and it's just I think that's a really incredible team. And we were able to get the win there by being lucky enough to get a 5 that was at least somewhere in our shared consciousness, whereas with theirs they were just seconds away from getting it. We did a pretty detailed breakdown of the 5-point thing last night on Action Guys, but it was something, that match. One of the things here, 123 Narnia says, how did you feel winning a comeback with Dan? Not him beating you by a comeback. Dan looked so relaxed. Yeah, I mean, the truth is, if you go look at my Schmodown career, the history of my career, I've been incredibly unlucky when it comes to the 5-pointer. not just the ones I know, but the ones my opponents know. If you go kind of look at stats, league averages over the years, people miss the fives. It's just a thing that players do. Sometimes you hit them, but there's not very many players that hit like a significantly higher number of fives. The 5 point question is that's just the nature of the question. It's a bit of a crapshoot. And I just had so many matches over the years where I would get to the end and my opponent would hit their five to win. So many of those matches could have been mine. I put myself in a position to get that win, and then my opponent, hits the five. And so this was just a great moment, a great feeling to finally be in a position where, I could have all fallen apart, and it didn't. I'm used to it all falling apart at the end. That's just how it is. The funny part, though, is my teammate Dan Merle is the master of the comeback. That's what he does. He always hits those questions at the end. He's probably one of the only players that so consistently hits his 5 point question. So it was a great feeling. I was I felt very fortunate to be a part of one of those in that way. That's just normally not it's just normally not how it works. Ryan R here says, he says, Dallas and I were watching and had to pause right before the last 5 pointer. We thought Danger Zone had lost because Marisol was just so good the whole match. We watched the end like 20 minutes later and lost it. Yeah, man, it was, I mean, there was some real venom coming from Deception in the post-game interview. They were not happy, and they made it known. And yeah, I mean, that could have been so bad for Danger Zone to start out 1-1. It would have been a real bummer. It would have been a real bummer for us. So look, we go on to another team that's playing extremely well. Rushmore has had a very, very good start to the tournament. I think we're the better team, but as I said earlier, really is anybody on any day. So the best we can do is prepare and be ready and know that there is a world in which we win this thing and win it all and get to a title match and win that too. And that's the one we're playing. That's the one we're playing for. So it would be pretty meaningful for me to be able to get a team's title at this point. The whole reason that we're on this team together, the whole reason that Danger Zone exists, that the dungeon put us all together like this, I just know there's only so much time that anybody's going to have in their career playing this game. If this game's around for 30 years, I'm not going to be playing this game into my 40s. I mean, I can't. I've already been so hard at it for my 5th year now, really going for it, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and it's a huge part of my life. But I also know there's going to come a time when I'm going to want to take some time away from it. I'm going to want to step away and do something else for a while. And before that happens, I would really like to stack a few more things up. One thing I've never done before is win a team's title. And it would be very meaningful after having been on 2, I think, very good teams. I have such fond memories of my days on Team Action. Obviously, Riley and I were so close, but I really, truly can't wait to be put in a position to, be able to hit this Rushmore match. And then if we can take care of business there, win 2 more. I mean, we're now at a point after the second win here where if we go 3-0 right now, we win a title. So you lock in. 5's really hard to wrap your mind around. 5's a really hard thing. When you start a tournament where you're going to have to win 5 matches, that's you do what you can do, that's just life. But when you know that it's 3, when you know that it's 3 matches, that's a little different, right? That's an 8-person tournament you have to win. And so I think for us, we kind of feel like going into this Rushmore match, we're starting an 8-person tournament to win the title. And I know we can do it. So very excited about that one. I was trying to think if there was anything else specifically about the Danger Zone Deception match that really came to mind. And we have said quite a bit about it. So if anybody has a specific question they want to throw into a Streamlab, feel free to get it in. I will do my best to answer and give you the most in-depth explanation I possibly can. Looks like we have a couple more Streamlabs here. Call sign Cash, Brandon Buckingham with the hair tussle. How quickly did it take you to pull the answer for your 5-pointer against Deception? Well, Bucks, the question at hand that we're talking about is Barry Levinson directed Robin Williams 3 times in the category of directors. What were 2 of those movies? And so with a question like that, you basically know there's going to be one that they expect you to get to. That's how a question like that works. They can't really ask that question if it was a director who had 3 obscure movies. So you basically know there's a softball question that you need to be able to get without thinking. which is what it was. I said to Dan, and he agreed immediately. You know, Born on the 4th of July, or not Born on the 4th of July. Good Morning Vietnam is just the one. We just both knew it right away. After that, though, I could tell in the way that Dan spoke that he didn't have a direction or an instinct, right? That's why we communicate the way that we do in that moment, right? I speak first. I tell him this is the movie, right? He agrees. That's his moment. If he knows, he's going to tell me the other movie is this. At which point I have to think, and this is a great lesson for any player, any fan league player who gets into this game, even if you're a competitor and you're watching this, you have to learn how to listen to your instinct. And the more times you do it, which is why studying and practicing is so important, and practicing with a whiteboard or practicing with a timer is so important, you have to be able to feel your memory. And you can feel it. Absolutely, you can feel it. And maybe, I don't know if every player is like this. I certainly didn't used to be like this because I didn't used to pay attention to it. But and Dan explained this later, right? The reason that he was confident in going with toys and he didn't feel the need to Hail Mary some idea that he had come up with was because he said to me, if you have an instinct about something and it's the first thing that comes to your mind and you say it in the first few seconds, I know as your partner, you're usually right. Even if you don't know you're right, it came from somewhere. Now, 49% of the time that might be wrong, but 51% of the time it's going to be right. And you have to train yourself to be able to listen to that and not second guess it and talk yourself out of something. You can literally watch in the first sequence, that brick of time. I literally say, did he do that movie Toys? Dan says what he says. And then I say, did he do that horrible movie Man of the Year? After that, we start to mumble through some things. I throw out like The Money Pit, a couple other things, right? But even there, if you get into something like The Money Pit, you start to think about like, and obviously Robin Williams is not in The Money Pit, but like that era of movie, well, it's just like sort of a screwball comedy, which is what Toys is. So I'm just trying to figure out ways to convince myself or Dan of the instinct that I have, but I don't even know I'm trying to do it in the moment. Is the thing that's interesting if you watch it. So that's why it's important to have two players that operate on that wavelength where you have to be able to listen to it. So like I always tell people, if you're trying to train your memory, you get asked a question and you think you might know it, a great exercise is to close your eyes as soon as they ask it. Pay attention to what color you see. I'm not fucking with you. Pay attention to what color you see when you close your eyes. I can't even describe exactly the color that I see, and I do it without closing my eyes, but I feel something. I feel like a color when I feel like I have it. That's your instinct, right? So how quick to answer your question, Cash, and I know I'm just like fucking rambling. I sound like a crazy person, but to answer your question, pretty much immediately. But it took the trust of my partner and not landing on some other foolhardy guess to trust enough to actually throw out Toys. Now, the funnier part is that I saw Man of the Year in theaters because it was a Barry Levinson movie in 2006. But I didn't recall that memory as much. So either one would have been right. And anyway, that's the best version of the answer I can give. So all right, let's see what else we got here. I think I saw another one pop up on the screen. Our next one here is from Cutter Hale. You convinced me to sign up for the Diamond Tier. Big salute to you, Cutter. Not a salute. We're going to give you a hair tussle. Oh, look at this. I just got the notification. Welcome to the Diamond Tier, Cutter Hale. Excited to have you, man. Look out in your messages tonight when the show's over. I'll be sending out the sign-up sheet for everybody who's at that Diamond, Double Diamond, and Infinity tier. If you guys do want to sign up for the one-on-ones, obviously it's first come, first serve. So I'll be sending those out. Check your Patreon messages if you do want to sign up. Cutter, thank you so much for signing up, man. Welcome. Exciting to have you here. Next up, we got John Lacerina with the Streamlab donation. Just wanted to say I really enjoyed watching the Top Gun match between you and Riley. Top Gun is one of my all-time favorites, and it put a huge smile on my face with all the back and forth quotes. And yes, I did know your 5-pointer, 39 days, #family. So the question in the match, right? The question was who plays the car chief? Yeah. Who plays the car chief in Days of Thunder? And the irony of this question in this match is that the previous night I had gone over that exact question with Kaiser. We had literally gone over that question. Now, when I got asked the question, was not sure if I couldn't tell the difference in my brain between car chief and crew chief. because Robert Duvall is one and John C. Reilly is one. So I was trying to figure out which of the two I should guess. I was pretty convinced from the time they asked the question, Robert Duvall was going to be the answer they were looking for. However, they obviously were looking for John C. Reilly in the end. Riley's fake out is much better because he never does that. And his poll was so hard. It was like Whip Hubley or whatever. Like, that's an incredibly hard poll. Mine are both pretty well-known actors, and one of them's an Oscar winner, obviously. And but I thought I actually had it. I was doing my normal holdout to the last minute, and in the end, I didn't get it. The back and forth stuff, though, all the questions, all the quotes, that was super fun. It was a great time. So, it was a great match. I was really happy about that one. I had a great time doing it, and overall, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it as well. I did just get another notification on my phone. We just had another upgrade. Another person at the Diamond tier, Tanya Tagamuffin. Big hair tussle to you, Tanya, coming in from, is it Ireland? I hope I'm right. I think that's from Ireland. I think is where you're watching. And I'm assuming if you just did the upgrade now, it's because you're watching the show live from Ireland. So thank you so much for the upgrade there. As I said to Cutter, check out your messages there on Patreon when the episode is over. I will be sending out the sheet for the signups if you guys are interested in the June signups. Otherwise, of course, you both are going to be not only welcome on a Wednesday, but within the next sign-up cycle at that Diamond tier, you guys will be able to sign up to go head-to-head, one-on-one with me in trivia if you'd like to. So thank you so much for upgrading. That's exciting to have you here. 2 new Diamond patrons tonight on the show. Crazy stuff. Tanya, she says, yes, Ireland. Excellent. Thank you so much for the upgrade there. Let's see. Wow, I just keep clicking on the wrong buttons here. Technical difficulties. Who would have thought? And then our last one here is, we have 2 more here, actually. Charlotte Gherkin. Hair tussle to you, Charlotte. Proud of all the work you've been doing. Got to send you a message, checking in with you earlier today on Patreon. Hey, Ben, love all the matches you have coming up, especially facing the Outlaw not once, but twice. Do you know when your singles match with him is airing? I think it's live, June 4th. That is definitely the date that it's airing, but I'm pretty positive, guys, it's a 3-rounder. I think we're actually going to be taping it live, so you're going to be watching it happen legitimately. So I'm very excited for that one. That should be a crazy one. Should be a great one. Carly here, big hair tussle to you, Carly, with the Streamlabs donation, asking for a friend, somewhat unrelated. Where on earth did you find that Top Gun flight suit? It's me. I'm the friend. My friend Jason lent it to me back in season 4. That was in our debut. Andrew and I both had them. We debuted as Team Action back in 2017 in the Top Gun flight suits, and I've literally had it ever since. I even asked him the other day, like 2 months ago, 3 months, whenever I moved, if he wanted it back, and he said yes. So I was just gonna get rid of it, but I held on to it. He still hasn't taken it back, so I had it in my storage. Needless to say, it is a little more snug these days than it was in 2017, but it still fit enough. So I was happy to have it. I felt like it definitely made a difference. It was cool to have that for the match. Jose Montalvo here with the super chat. I felt that you were both surprised and proud when Riley pulled off your technique in that 5-pointer. That's exactly right. It's incredible. Yeah, I was really proud of him. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a great pull. I kind of thought he had it the whole time. I said this in the match. I was like, I knew he had it because Riley, when he doesn't know an answer and it's the pressure moments, his hands kind of get clammy. And I was like, I could tell he had a little too much give for me to buy it, but the audience doesn't know that as much. So having played with him for as long as I did, I definitely kind of know when he knows it, and I know when he doesn't. All right, so what else is going on here? We talked a little bit about the one-on-ones, which, as I said, I'm very excited to be bringing those back. We talked a little bit about Deception and Danger Zone. I'm happy to answer any more questions about that as it goes. I am going to see Quiet Place 2 tonight. So this is an exciting little topic. We can go on this tangent for a second here. This is actually this is a good moment to kind of do my little whatever you want to call it, my soapbox, my life advice corner, whatever the fuck I do on this show. But there's usually a minute where I talk about it, some of the motivation stuff, positivity and all. And so I'm going to see Quiet Place 2 tonight, and it's the first movie I'll be screening in a theater for a studio to review it since Bloodshot in March of 2020. And when that happened in March of 2020, there was a couple things in my life that had started happening that were very exciting for me. I was just starting to kind of get the inkling that music was going to be something I wanted to do again, just beginning to, right? I had been screening 3 movies a week and posting reviews on Action Industries. I was getting ready to announce in April the Nerds and Suits channel. And then, of course, in June, we went live with the Patreon and all the getting to know you guys a bit better. But I was kind of focusing on the next step of building out my brand and my career in entertainment as an entertainer. And the pandemic, as it did for many of you, kind of wrecked a lot of the momentum I had going. Now, it changed the trajectory, and I've had to work really hard over the last 15 months to try to get some of that momentum back, albeit in a different way. But a lot of the things I was involved in aren't around anymore. I don't get to do shows at studios, and the studios that I had relationships to that I used to do shows at, like AfterBuzz TV and like Collider, are either on hiatus indefinitely, or if they're not on hiatus, I don't have a relationship there like I used to. I don't think that there's a real. I don't think Drew and I are bringing Action Movie Anatomy back. I don't think we're going to be taping uh, any kind of show at Collider. The whole industry and landscape has changed. Many of the colleagues and friends that I worked with in Los Angeles have moved and left. Um, all that being said, though, it does bring to mind the idea that we're starting to get back to something a little bit more normal and recognizable. And this screening tonight, for me, really does represent that. Something that I take very seriously and something that I'm very, very excited about because I've been honest with you guys about my health. I mean, it's sucked. I spend every day trying to kind of fight through and figure out the best way to mitigate the pain that I'm in. But I also recognize, as I've talked to you guys about, this is my journey. This is the one I'm on. I'll be living a life that's dealing with this and hopefully healing. And maybe this is the motivation I need to get healthier. But whatever it is, this is the life I'm in. So I'm fighting to maintain my happiness, my confidence, my positivity, my momentum in spite of all those things, including my health. So with going back to screen a movie tonight, it brings to mind for me something that you probably all are starting to experience, which is if you started working from home when the pandemic started, you're probably going back into an office pretty soon. They recommended the CDC regulations, that you can operate inside 90% of places without a mask if you're fully vaccinated, and you can ignore social distancing. This means that we thought we were moving towards life returning to normal. We're blowing past moving towards anything. We're within a month, it's going to feel like life in the United States is back to normal. That's the truth. And I'm not saying it is because the pandemic still is around. COVID-19 is still a threat. And if you aren't vaccinated and you're at risk and you get sick, you could get incredibly sick. But what I'm more talking about is the fact that you're going to start getting asked to go back into work. If you were working on a project, if you're a live musician, if you had something that you wanted to do that you were planning on in February of 2020, you're going to start planning to do that thing again if you're still interested. And that's kind of where I'm at is, that's kind of where I'm at is thinking about the fact that now whatever life plan and momentum I was talking about back then is something I'm really going to start thinking about now. How do I want to review things? What do I want to do with the Nerds and Suits channel? What kind of reviews do we want to do on Action? How do we grow those things? Action Live, my tour, the album. We're right there. So it's just a good thing to think about. And it's a good time to remember for any of you that have something you're excited about doing, take this moment today as your day one. We've all been waiting for things to feel normal. You just keep waiting. You keep waiting. You keep waiting. It's not going to happen. You're just going to look around and you're going to have sort of missed your head start. So many of us here talked about last year, towards the end of the year, October, November, setting goals for ourselves to end the last 3 months of 2020 strong. So that instead of January 1, 2021, New Year's resolutions, we were going to try to enter 2021 with momentum. And a lot of us did. And so many of you that are in this chat, I can shout some of you guys out here. Tim Miller, John Lestrina, Jose Montalvo, Charlotte Gherkin, so many of you, Nikki, William Harold, we started working on your goal setting months before the year ended so that many of you had achieved a lot and already felt like you had movement and momentum and were excited about some of that achievement by the time the year started. Take today as your day to get your mind wrapped around the fact that by the summer, by the time we hit July, it's going to feel like we're back to normal. I promise you, at least if you're in the United States. I can't speak to other countries, but I'm pretty much positive that's how it's going to feel for you. And I mean, this is a big one. This is a huge one because I'm in this boat. So many of you can relate. So many of us gained 10 plus pounds during the pandemic. There was way more drinking, a lot less physical activity. Gyms were closed. It happened to all of us. None of us, you don't want to go out feeling heavy and not feeling good about yourself. Nobody does. I certainly don't. But I've worked hard already recently to make some changes in my life to try to work on that. And that's the simplest goal to focus on for many people because they're going to be literally in that position. So whether it's that one or another one, if it's that one or another one, I just want to encourage you guys to wrap your mind around that. I think it's an important thing to do. And I think it's something that if you don't have somebody reminding you to do it, you might just miss. You might just miss that it's happening. You might just keep wanting to live inside your house. Social anxiety is a real thing. Many of us are dealing with, and you have to just get used to the fact that you're going to have to work in an office, or you're going to have to be around people, or you're going to attend birthday parties. You're going to start dating again. Whatever it is that you were doing before the pandemic, get ready for it to happen again and act accordingly. So there's my suggestion, my advice for you guys. I want to ask everybody here to hit the thumbs up button on this video. There's 50 plus of you guys watching right now. We have a pretty good ratio. 40 some odd likes. But if you haven't already hit it, do me a favor, you could hit that thumbs up button. And of course, hit subscribe on this video as well if you haven't already. Guys, we're live for like another 10 or 15 minutes. I might go a couple minutes over. And I'm just trying to think if there was anything else essential that I really wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. It does look like we have a couple more super chats that I want to read. Make sure I don't miss these ones. This one is from a J in the Life. Hey, Ben, are you guys going to be covering the Loki show? So a J in the Life. I think also, did I just see that you wrote that? And then AMA was amazing, but I'm excited for what is next for them. Awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, you've all in here wanting to see AMA come back. We kind of tried something similar to that. Whoops. All right, we're back. We kind of tried that one for a quick second on the Action Industries channel right around the beginning of the pandemic. We tried a show that was called The Greatest Movie Ever Made. It was supposed to kind of be the spiritual successor, and we just couldn't quite find the balance of what made the show special. We've tried a lot of things, and that wasn't the one. So we'll continue to work on ideas to figure out the best way for us to talk about movies. We obviously love talking about movies, and I miss doing AMA greatly. As far as the Loki show goes, I'm not entirely sure. I think so is the answer to the question. The whole idea of content that we do over on Action Industries is because we've done it for so long, and it requires the two of us to get together. And a show like Loki, you've got to watch it at midnight on Tuesday, and then obviously prep it, and there's quite a bit of work that goes into doing a good job on that show. It's just one more thing that gets added to a plate of Drew's got a pretty full week some weeks. Obviously August he's going to be gone shooting a movie. I'm going to be touring in August, and so finding the time in the middle of the week, especially I do have a full-time job, as many of you know, it's going to be a little bit harder. I'm not totally sure how we're going to do it. We might record it at a different time, or maybe just not do it quite as early, but we are definitely going to be watching. And I know we're both very excited about Loki. So the answer to the question is I would really, really like to. Let's see here. Thomas McPeak here has a comment. I haven't seen you in here, Thomas. Thanks for showing up. Give you a hair tussle here. That's what we do on the channel. I was worried that Rocha and Finstock turning on Dan earlier this year would hurt your chances of being able to be the top heel, but you've been crushing it this season. Thanks, Thomas. It's a funny comment you bring up. So in the old Team Action days, Drew and I were heels, like super heels. We were like total pricks. It was our thing. And Drew was a little more the mad dog. And I would smile and cackle. And we were new to the league. We hadn't won yet. So when we started, it was so much about attitude. Things went on. We continued to be bad guys, continued to be heels. We developed the whole Action brand around what we were doing. We split off. He was the greatest heel of all time, beats Dan, does his whole thing. And I kind of transitioned into more of a slight, like, kind of a little bit of a face storyline with Riley. Now, that same year when I was in the tournament, I was pretty heelish still, but I was supposed to lose some of that, and I did, right? Some of it, like definitely Houston and Chicago. I was way less brutal, way less of like a ruthless heel. And it really, I would say, only started to come back, I guess, a little bit more around the time I won my title. But I would still say that I don't think I was really doing it as hard. This season, I feel like I've gone like turn it up to 11 a little bit. And I feel like I'm playing the best I've ever played while also being a real dickbag. The deception match, I think I turned it down a little bit. I was trying to focus a bit more, and I could tell they were so locked in. I didn't want to lose my focus. But certainly the previous match against midterms, they were not thrilled with me and my behavior. And Riley, I was pretty heelish. So I guess my question for you guys is, do you have a hard time rooting for, or do you have a hard time hating heel Bateman? And that's a weird question to ask you guys who are watching, but like, do you have a hard time hating heel Bateman because Dan's my teammate? Because Dan's the ultimate good guy. He is the ultimate face, Like, do you think that the Dungeon's a heel faction? I guess that's kind of my point, is if you guys are watching, do you find yourselves conflicted in what you feel about the team, about the faction, because of the fact that we kind of exist on either side in the same in the same faction, on the same team even. So I think I just saw something pop up here I wanted to get back over to. All right, so last couple of things that I want to make sure that I can talk to you guys a little bit more about before we do get out of here is the schedule for music. The schedule for music for the tour. As it stands right now, my plan is to do the physical therapy, all of the rehab that they're giving me, to try to get ready for this tour. I've been talking to David, trying to figure out our best way to work on getting ready for the album release, for the rest of the songs, setting up a release schedule to get Late Night Love Song out there. And then ultimately, I will be releasing the tour dates as long as everything goes the way that I'm hoping and planning. I would say we're in the 80% tier right now of likelihood that this is going to be an August tour, like I'm hoping. So as long as that all goes and I'm able to do it, I'll be announcing the tour dates right around my birthday, because that would be just a little less than 2 months from the tour. It'd be in about 2 weeks. My birthday's in like about 3 weeks, actually. It's 3 weeks from yesterday, June 6th. And it's going to be a big one, guys. We last year on my birthday announced the Patreon, announced the album. It's been a crazy fucking year. I can't believe it's already been almost a year since we announced that, but it's been an amazing year. I've gotten to know so many of you so well. This channel has grown. Obviously, some of the content on this channel has evolved and developed. I think what we do here on the channel now is a little different than I anticipated in the first place, but it will be a year, and I'll be announcing the dates there. One thing I really wanted to do, and I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to post it here again, is I put together a tour form. And this tour form actually includes all of the information that I need to book a successful tour. And so a lot of you in here have actually already filled this out, but all it is your closest major city. It's your closest major city. It's your, would you be interested in attending a show? Some basic contact information. The reason it's so important to fill out this document is that it really does show me where you guys are. So when I'm announcing these dates and figuring out which ones to book, it's really, really essential. I'm just going to ask anybody in here who is watching, who's listening, who's watching this after the fact. The link is in the chat here. I just posted it from Nerds in Suits. It's a clickable link. I know you guys didn't think I knew how to do that, but I do. Do me a favor, click on it and fill it out. Even if you do it now while I'm talking, it only takes about a minute. And there's like 100 of you so far that have filled this out, but I want to make sure we can try to get a few more people over the course of the next month, while I kind of veer towards announcing the dates, because I only have, like I said, about 3 weeks until announcing them, and I definitely need to know so I can plan accordingly. So do me a favor, guys, and fill that one out. Chris here asks, are you going to be doing an LA show first or last? The current plan is to do the LA show last. It would be end of September. Beginning of September, end of August, one of those weekends. It would probably be the only show on the tour. I'd say there's 2 shows, probably New York and LA are the 2 that I'll probably do at a venue, versus I think the vast majority of them will be at like a private space I'll rent, because I expect I don't expect to sell more than 30 tickets to any of these shows. Really, there's not enough people I think out there yet that are supporting what I do musically. We'll see. If I do, then we'll act accordingly and figure it out. But in the meantime, I'll be booking small spaces, private show, more of a hangout. There'll be kind of a VIP experience probably where we can hang out a bit after the show. And yeah, it's gonna be super fun. I mean, this August is gonna be amazing. I need to get my health in order, but as long as I do, I think it's gonna be a really, really special month. All right, guys. So last couple things to point out here. Last couple things to point out there before we get out of here, because I'm probably live for about 5 more minutes. Is number one, and I've mentioned it a couple times, but I just do want to remind anybody and everybody in here that as soon as the show is over here, I'm going to be sending out a message with the signups for the one-on-ones, the Nerds and Suits one-on-ones. Many of you know, available for 15-minute one-on-ones to go over any professional or life obstacle that you want to deal with. It's a sounding board for me to hang out with you for a little bit, go over whatever you want to talk about. And at the higher tiers, Double Diamond and Infinity, I'll make 30 minutes available. There's going to be a limited number of appointments. Those will all be booked for the month of June on Tuesdays between 6 and 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. So if you're interested in doing that and you're at that Patreon tier, sign up, look out for the message. If it's something you feel like you can't afford, but you really like to do, send me a private message. We'll see if we can figure something out. I do have 2 more super chats here. One from Cutter Hale. Big hair tussle to you again, Cutter. If you are touring in Texas this summer, I'm coming to at least one show. Super excited to learn from you. Also, what's your favorite movie so far this year? Mine is Those Who Wish Me Dead. Second favorite is Nobody. I've seen it in theater 6 times. Holy shit, man. That's incredible. You know what? I have been so sort of tuned out of movies this year. I haven't seen as many as I would like. I'd have to really think about that. What is my favorite movie so far this year? I'm not even really sure. I overall enjoyed Those Who Wish Me Dead. I thought there was a lot of good stuff in that movie. I'll have to get back to that one, Cutter. I'll have to think about it a little bit. As I'm starting to get back into watching more movies now, I'm sure my opinion will heat up on that one. Call sign Hans and Franz, a hair tussle to you, Dan Bettenhausen, PL Dan, as we've learned to call him. I've had a hard time hating Hill Bateman because of the community you built and having Dan on your team. This last year would not have been as manageable if it were not for the NIS and the Generals. How can I hate someone when I am so thankful? Dan, I'm thankful to have met you as well, my friend. Your attitude is infectiously positive. But it's a show. You can hate me all you want. People do. It happens all the damn time. So let's see here. Anything else that I want to talk about before I get out of here? If anybody in here can remind me, if there's anything that I meant to talk about that I haven't talked about yet, please remind me. And otherwise, probably we'll be getting out of here in just a second, guys, because I gotta go rustle my butt into a car so I can go watch Quiet Place 2. Gonna be crazy. Gonna be crazy stuff. I can't wait. I'm very, very, very excited for that one. One more time, I'm going to post the link for this tour form. If you haven't already filled it out, fill it out. Let me know. Where are you? Where are you guys going to be this summer? For when I'm touring, if you fill it out, it takes you like 1 second, and it's very, very helpful. Yeah, guys, I think otherwise, check out Schmodown Backstage. That's going to be tomorrow. I've got some excellent guests. I've got Gold Leader on. I've got Taylor Robinson on. I've got Mara Kanopik on the show. Should be a really, really fun one. And otherwise, I think Drew and I are going to be returning to the same room to do our content this week. So look out for that over on the Action Industries channel as well. If my family is still, in fact, watching the show, I don't know if they are. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. I love you, to my sister, to my whole family, to anybody who's watching. I doubt my niece and nephew are watching because they're very little and they're probably sleeping. To my brother, Sasha Mani, and anybody who's watching the show who's from my family. If you're still here, I love you guys and thanks for tuning in. Tonight was a really fun stream. I'm really, really looking forward to the rest of the streams this summer. I think we're going to have a great, great time. And one more time, a gigantic shout out to our brand new Diamond tier patron Cutter Hale, and of course our other brand new Diamond tier patron in Tanya Tagamov. So a big hair tussle to you guys. Thank you so much for joining the Nerds and Suits Patreon. Looking forward to playing against Egglord closer Nikki on Wednesday at 6:15 PST. And otherwise, guys, looks like my family all ditched. What slackers? What slackers? I love you guys. I'll see you soon and have the best night in the world. Bye, guys.